Imagine the perfect wedding day. The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, love is in the air. The bride, radiant, the groom, beaming, guests, laughing. It's a fairy tale. But what if, beneath that polished veneer, a simmering volcano of family drama was about to erupt? What if, in a moment of pure, unadulterated shock, the groom slapped his mother-in-law? Sounds unbelievable, right? A scene from a movie? Well, this isn't fiction. This is the story of Sarah and Mark, a couple whose wedding day became the stage for a truly shocking act of defiance, and a bride's response that left every single person in that room utterly speechless. Stick around, because you won't believe how this story unfolds, and what revenge truly means when it comes to toxic family. To understand the explosion, we first have to understand the pressure cooker. Our story centers around Sarah, a bright, kind-hearted woman, and her mother, Evelyn. Now, Evelyn wasn't your typical loving, supportive mom. From Sarah's earliest memories, Evelyn was, well, let's just say, a piece of work. She was a master manipulator, constantly undermining Sarah, belittling her choices, and, most damningly, financially exploiting her whenever she could. Evelyn saw Sarah not as a daughter to nurture, but as an extension of herself and a convenient ATM. She'd constantly borrow money, demanding it with emotional blackmail, promising to pay it back but rarely doing so. She'd disparage Sarah's career choices, her friends, even her appearance. Sarah, bless her heart, spent years trying to earn her mother's approval, often to her own detriment. Then came Mark. Mark was everything Evelyn wasn't: stable, loving, incredibly supportive, and most importantly, he saw Evelyn for exactly who she was. He recognized the abuse, and he encouraged Sarah to set boundaries. This, as you can imagine, did not go over well with Evelyn. As Sarah and Mark's wedding day approached, Evelyn's behavior escalated. She saw Mark as a threat to her control over Sarah. She started calling him names, spreading rumors, and even tried to convince Sarah to call off the wedding, citing concerns about Mark's character, all completely unfounded, of course. Sarah, for her part, was torn. She loved her mother despite everything, and truly wanted a peaceful wedding day. She tried to appease Evelyn, giving her a prominent role in the ceremony, hoping that on this one day, her mother would put aside her toxicity. Mark, however, was past his limit. He'd witnessed Evelyn's abuse firsthand, and was growing increasingly protective of Sarah. He knew he had to stand up for his wife, but he never imagined how or when that moment would come. The morning of the wedding, things started subtly. Evelyn was nitpicking Sarah's hair, then her dress. During the ceremony, she made a loud, scoffing noise when Mark read his vows. Little things, but they were chipping away at the beautiful day. But the real storm was brewing for the reception. The reception was in full swing. Speeches had been made, the first dance was done, and everyone was relaxed, enjoying the celebration. Sarah and Mark were finally letting loose, feeling like they'd actually pulled it off. Then, Evelyn saw her opportunity. During a lull in the music, as Mark was walking past Evelyn's table, she called out to him, loud enough for several surrounding tables to hear. She said, and I quote, "Well, Mark, I hope you're happy with your little gold digger. You know she's only marrying you for your money, just like she always does." And then she added with a sickening smirk, "And honestly, you're not even that rich, are you? My daughter deserves better." The entire table went silent. Mark froze. Sarah, who was across the room, looked over, instantly sensing the shift in atmosphere. In that moment, something inside Mark snapped. Years of witnessing Evelyn's cruelty, her constant undermining of Sarah, her venomous attacks on their relationship. It all boiled over. Before he could even process what he was doing, Mark turned, lifted his hand, and delivered a swift, resounding slap across Evelyn's face. The sound echoed through the stunned reception hall. A collective gasp rippled through the guests. Plates dropped, drinks spilled. All eyes were on Mark, Evelyn, and then on Sarah. Everyone held their breath waiting for the bride's reaction. Would she explode at her new husband? Would she run to her mother's side? The silence was deafening, the tension suffocating. Evelyn clutched her cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief and immediate outrage. She started to scream, "He hit me! My own son-in-law! This marriage is a sham! He's a monster!" But before anyone could even react, before Sarah could be questioned, before anyone could even process the chaos, Sarah walked forward. She didn't run to Mark. She didn't run to her mother. She walked directly to the head table, picked up a microphone, and calmly, coolly, the picture of serene determination, tapped it. The room went silent again. Everyone expected tears, outrage, maybe even an apology from Sarah. What they got instead left them utterly dumbfounded. Sarah looked directly at her mother, her voice clear and strong. "Evelyn," she began, "you are absolutely right. This marriage is a sham, but not because of Mark. It's a sham because for my entire life, you have systematically lied, manipulated, and stolen from me. You have poisoned every good thing in my life, including my own self-worth." Sarah then took a deep breath. "For years," she continued, "I tried to make you happy. I lent you money I needed for my education, for a down payment on my apartment, for this wedding. Money you swore you'd repay. I have the bank statements, I have the text messages." And then, in a move that no one saw coming, she pulled out a manila envelope from beneath the table. From that envelope, she produced printed bank statements, text messages, and a professionally notarized letter. "And you know what else, Evelyn?" Sarah's voice cracked with a mixture of pain and triumph. "My lawyer has advised me that due to your chronic financial exploitation and emotional abuse, I have formally disinherited you from my will, effective immediately. And should you ever contact me or Mark again, a restraining order will be filed. You are no longer my mother. You are no longer welcome in my life, and I and my husband are finally free." The room erupted, not in anger at Mark, but in a wave of gasps, exclamations, and then a resounding cheer for Sarah. Her words, her preparation, her absolute, unwavering resolve. It left everyone speechless. They hadn't just witnessed a slap, they'd witnessed a carefully orchestrated act of liberation. Evelyn, utterly defeated, stood frozen for a moment, then stormed out of the reception, escorted by a bewildered staff member, not a single guest following her. The remaining wedding guests were in disbelief, but then a shift occurred. The tension that had hung over the day, the quiet discomfort many felt around Evelyn, lifted. The rest of the wedding day became a celebration, not just of love between Sarah and Mark, but of Sarah's incredible courage and self-preservation. It was a testament to setting boundaries, no matter how painful. Mark, far from being condemned, was hailed as a hero who, despite a momentary lapse in judgment, acted from a place of desperate protection. The true revenge wasn't the slap itself, though that certainly grabbed everyone's attention. The true revenge was Sarah's meticulously planned, brave, and public severing of ties with her abuser. It was her reclaiming her life, her peace, and her future. And it was all done with the full, unwavering support of her new husband. Sarah and Mark went on to build a beautiful life together, free from Evelyn's shadow. Sarah found healing and strength, knowing she finally stood up for herself. This story is a powerful reminder that sometimes the most shocking acts are born from desperation, and the most profound revenge is simply choosing your peace over another's toxicity. So what do you think? Was Mark justified in that moment? And what about Sarah's incredible response? Have you ever had to draw a line in the sand with a toxic family member? I want to hear your thoughts, your experiences. Let me know in the comments below. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more incredible true stories, and share this video with someone who needs to hear it. It helps us tremendously. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.